In July 2015, two teenagers, Austin Stefanos and Perry Cohen, set out on a simple fishing trip in the waters of the Bahamas. Just a carefree afternoon searching for fun, but no one knew. Those would be the final hours of their lives. Before vanishing, they sent a Snapchat message. Just 2 words. A quiet, desperate signal for help. Soon after, their boat was found drifting, more than 160 kilometers off the coast of Bermuda. But the boys were gone, without a trace. And what chilled investigators even more was this. The boat's battery had been manually shut off. There was no storm, no mechanical failure. Everything was intact, except for the humans who were supposed to be there. So what really happened that day? Was it an accident? A cover-up? Or something beyond logic? Something that doesn't follow the rules of our world? The boat's last known position sat right inside the Bermuda Triangle, the infamous region where ships, planes, and people have vanished without explanation, where science falls silent and logic dissolves. You hear faint waves hitting the boat. A blurred map fades in. Then, a red circle glows over the final coordinates. What do you think really happened? Drop your theory in the comments. Because sometimes, the truth doesn't come from facts, but from the edges of our imagination. The Bermuda Triangle, a region with no borders on any map, yet known around the world for its haunting mysteries. It connects 3 points: Miami, Bermuda, and Puerto Rico, forming an invisible triangle in the middle of the ocean, located on a major route linking the Americas, Europe, and the Caribbean. Thousands of planes and ships pass through every year. But what made this area infamous isn't location. It's the disappearances that defy logic. For decades, strange events have plagued these waters. Aircraft vanishing without wreckage. Ships lost with no distress calls. To this day, at least 50 vessels and 20 airplanes have never been found, and the chain part is no one truly knows why. Countless ships and planes have vanished in the Bermuda Triangle, taking their passengers with them, never to be seen again. And that's just an estimate, because no one knows how many disappearances were never even recorded. Some believe the high traffic in this area explains the number of accidents. But if it were that simple, why are the conditions surrounding each case so strange? It's the unexplained nature of these incidents that makes the Bermuda Triangle one of the world's most baffling mysteries. To trace its history, we go back to someone you've definitely heard of: Christopher Columbus, the Italian explorer who discovered the Americas in 1492. In his own journal, he reported strange events as he sailed through what we now call the Bermuda Triangle. A great ball of fire fell from the sky, likely a meteor. Weeks later, a mysterious light appeared on the horizon, and his compass, the most crucial tool for navigation, began behaving erratically, giving readings he couldn't explain. Strange incidents have long been reported by travelers passing through the Bermuda Triangle, but one of the most infamous happened in March 1918. The USS Cyclops, a 542-foot-long U.S. Navy cargo ship, vanished without a trace somewhere between Barbados and Chesapeake Bay. On board were about 300 men and 10,000 tons of manganese ore. The eerie part? The ship never sent a distress signal, even though it had the equipment to do so. A massive search followed, but nothing was ever found. No wreckage, no debris, not a single clue. President Woodrow Wilson later remarked, "Only God and the sea know what happened to that great ship." And the mystery deepened, because in 1941, 2 of Cyclops' sister ships disappeared on the same route, in the exact same way. Strange events continued to unfold. But the term Bermuda Triangle wouldn't be coined until 1964, when Vincent Gaddis used it in a magazine article. giving a chilling name to a region the world would never forget. It was in 1964 that a single article titled "The Deadly Bermuda Triangle" captured the world's imagination. Written by Vincent Gaddis, he was the first to give this mysterious region its infamous name. He claimed that ships and planes had vanished under inexplicable and eerie circumstances. From that moment on, public fascination exploded. Documentaries, films, articles, and videos flooded the media, and a new wave of global curiosity was born. People became more hyper-aware and alert every time a strange disappearance occurred within the triangle. Over the decades, countless vanishings have been linked to Bermuda. Some became legendary, either for how strange they were, or for how many lives they took. We've heard about Flight 19 and the USS Cyclops, but few remember what happened in 1818. A ship named Ellen Austin departed Liverpool for New York, carrying immigrants chasing the American dream. But once it entered the triangle's shadow, it faced something no one aboard could have possibly imagined. After several weeks at sea, Captain Griffin made a fateful decision. He took an unplanned shortcut, straight through the Sargasso Sea, right into the heart of the Bermuda Triangle. And that's when things started to go wrong. Far on the horizon, he spotted a drifting vessel. It looked deserted, unmanned, moving strangely through the waves. At first, he suspected danger, perhaps pirates, so he kept his distance. But after observing no signs of threat, he sent a crew member aboard to inspect. It appeared abandoned, lifeless but intact. So Griffin ordered more men onto the ship, intending to tow it back to New York. But then, out of nowhere, a violent storm rolled in, separating both ships and cutting off all communication. When the weather cleared, the captain found the ghost ship again, but his crew was gone, not a single man in sight. The ship was exactly as it had been when he first saw it. Empty, silent, untouched. Fearing more losses, Captain Griffin left the ship behind and sailed away. From that day forward, it was never seen again. If you believe the mystery still lingers, or if you've ever wondered what really happens out there in the open sea, drop a like, leave a comment with your thoughts, and share this video with someone who loves exploring the unknown. And don't forget to subscribe so you won't miss our next journey into the world's most mysterious corners. Another strange disappearance happened in 1967, involving a 23-foot luxury cruiser called Witchcraft. On the night of December 22nd, the boat's owner invited a friend for a short trip off the coast of Miami. The plan was simple: sail a little, cut the engine, and admire the Christmas lights reflecting over the water. But that night didn't go as planned. Around 9 p.m., the Miami Coast Guard received a distress call. The captain reported they needed a tow. It took the rescue team just 20 minutes to reach the location, but when they arrived, there was nothing there. No Witchcraft, no passengers, not even floating debris. Everything had vanished, as if it had never existed. Just 20 minutes, and it became a mystery. This is only one of the many strange disappearances tied to the Bermuda Triangle. And then came the one that shocked the world. A mystery that has remained unsolved for over 70 years. Flight 19, December 5th, 1945. They became known as Flight 19. 5 TBM Avenger torpedo bombers that took off from the Naval Air Station in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, on December 5th, 1945. For what should have been a routine training mission, the flight was led by Lieutenant Charles C. Taylor, a seasoned pilot and World War II veteran. The plan was simple: fly east to a target area called Hens and Chickens Shoals, perform bombing practice, then head north past Grand Bahama Island and return to base. But that's not what happened. About 90 minutes into the flight, ground operators began receiving transmissions from Lieutenant Taylor. He reported that both compasses had failed, and he believed they were flying over the Florida Keys. Taylor sounded confused, unsure of his exact position. Communication grew weaker, more erratic, until finally, it was lost altogether. The last words ever heard from Flight 19 were chilling orders from Taylor to his crew. When the first plane runs out of fuel, we all ditch together. And after that, silence. Flight 19 and all 14 crew members vanished forever into the Bermuda Triangle. Lieutenant Taylor had instructed his men to ditch their planes into the sea, once the first one dropped below 10 gallons of fuel. But from that moment on, Flight 19 was never seen again. All 14 airmen vanished without a trace. A massive search and rescue operation was launched, but not a single clue was found. No wreckage, no bodies, no signal. And then, something even more chilling happened. That very same evening, a PBM Mariner flying boat was sent out to search for Flight 19. Shortly after takeoff, it disappeared as well. All 13 men on board, gone. One disappearance is a mystery, but two, back-to-back, on the same day, is something no one could explain. So what exactly is going on in the Bermuda Triangle? Over the years, the countless theories have emerged. Scientific ones, unusual magnetic fields, undersea methane explosions. Paranormal ones, time warps, alien abductions, even government conspiracies. Never proven. But to this day, none of them have been confirmed. Flight 19 remains one of the most haunting cases of all. Not just for how many aircraft vanished at once, but for the enduring silence that followed. One of the most famous early 20th century mysteries involved the ship Carroll A. Deering. On January 31st, 1921, it was discovered run aground on the Diamond Shoals near the coast of North Carolina. But what investigators found on board was deeply unsettling. The ship was intact, no signs of damage, no evidence of piracy, but the entire crew had vanished. Personal belongings, navigation equipment, the logbook, lifeboats, all gone. As if the crew had calmly abandoned ship together, yet taken nothing with them. Despite the rough seas, a full investigation was launched, but no clear answers were found. This vessel would later be known as the Ghost Ship of the Outer Banks. What made the case even more chilling was that at least 9 other ships vanished around the same time. Under eerily similar circumstances. Why did they all disappear? Like they were erased from existence. In recent years, scientists have proposed several theories, and one of them begins with the very location of this mysterious sea. One of the most widely discussed scientific theories involves the Gulf Stream, one of the strongest and most influential ocean currents on Earth, flowing directly through the Bermuda Triangle. Experts suggest that this fast-moving, turbulent, and sometimes unpredictable current may explain why no debris is ever found. Even in the case of a simple accident, the Gulf Stream could swiftly carry wreckage far from the original site, making the disappearance appear more mysterious than it really is. But the current might not just erase evidence. It could also increase the risk of disaster. Its warm waters are the perfect breeding ground for sudden, violent storms, especially during hurricane season. These storms can form without warning and strike with terrifying force, potentially swallowing ships and planes before they can respond. Another compelling theory involves methane hydrate fields on the ocean floor. These are icy substances formed under intense pressure and cold temperatures. If disturbed, they could rapidly release methane gas, causing the water's density to drop. And when that happens, a ship could sink straight down without a trace. Another compelling theory lies deep beneath the ocean floor. Scientists believe that large methane hydrate fields exist within the Bermuda Triangle. These ice-like crystals are formed under extreme pressure and cold, and they're packed with methane gas. If disturbed, they could release massive gas bubbles that rise rapidly to the surface, reducing the water's density. And when that happens, a ship could sink instantly, without warning, without distress signals, and without leaving a trace. But what about the planes? Some researchers suggest that high-pressure methane bursts could also disturb the air above. A sudden change in air density could cause aircraft to lose lift, leading to loss of control, and ultimately, a crash. Then, there's the theory of magnetic anomalies. Some scientists propose that the Bermuda Triangle may lie in a region where true north and magnetic north align, causing compasses to give false readings, and in a place where one wrong turn means disaster. That could make all the difference, if you believe the mystery still lingers, or if you've ever wondered what really happens out there in the open sea. Drop a like, leave a comment with your thoughts, and share this video with someone who loves exploring the unknown. And don't forget to subscribe so you won't miss our next journey into the world's most mysterious corners. The magnetic theory once seemed like a logical explanation. True north is fixed, anchored at Earth's geographic pole. Magnetic north, however, shifts over time due to the movement of Earth's molten core. At certain moments, it was believed that in the Bermuda Triangle, true north and magnetic north could align perfectly. This would cause compasses to give false readings, leading navigators astray, off course, and into the unknown. But today, that theory holds little weight. Because modern navigation, especially GPS, no longer relies on magnetic fields. So, have all the scientific explanations answered the mystery? Not quite. Because none of them have ever been proven true. They remain just that. Theories. And as with many of the world's great mysteries, when science goes quiet, the supernatural begins to speak. Some believe that deep within the triangle, giant sea creatures still roam, pulled from the pages of old sailor folklore. In maritime mythology, no name looms larger than the Kraken, a legendary beast from Scandinavian folklore, a massive, squid-like creature, said to wrap its tentacles around from ships and drag them beneath the waves. Could there be a real-life Kraken lurking in the dark waters of the Bermuda Triangle? Another monstrous name echoes from ancient texts, including the Bible: Leviathan, a sea serpent or oceanic dragon capable of creating whirlpools strong enough to pull ships underwater. These mythic predators may explain why so many disappearances happen suddenly, without distress calls or debris. Because when a supernatural hunter strikes, there's no time to respond. And then, there's something even darker. A theory that blames ghosts. Some believe the triangle is haunted, filled with lost souls, spirits trapped at sea. That these entities cause confusion, fear, and disorientation, leading to aircraft and ships vanishing without reason. With all these possibilities, the Bermuda Triangle may not just be a place on the map. It could be a rift between reality and the unexplained. Some believe that the Bermuda Triangle isn't just an oceanic region, but a supernatural hotspot, where the boundary between the physical world and the spiritual is dangerously thin. The case of Captain Griffin and the Ellen Austin, where the crew vanished after boarding a ghost ship, is often seen as evidence of paranormal interference. But then comes an even more extraordinary theory. That aliens are responsible for the disappearances. Some suggest the triangle serves as a dimensional portal, a place where extraterrestrials travel between their world and ours. Unidentified flying objects have been reported in the area, and the strange lights seen by Christopher Columbus centuries ago are believed by some to be signs of alien presence. Yet, beyond the supernatural and the unexplained, we return to something much more grounded, something many people forget to consider: weather. Among all natural explanations, weather is one of the most emphasized factors behind the Bermuda Triangle disappearances. The region's unique location exposes it to harsh maritime conditions, which may account for many of the accidents. One particularly dangerous phenomenon is the waterspout, a tornado that forms over the ocean. For any plane or ship caught in its path, disaster can strike instantly. Recent concerns have also focused on climate change and rising sea levels, which make extreme weather events more frequent and unpredictable. This, in turn, increases the risk of accidents across the board, especially in already volatile zones like the Bermuda Triangle. And let's not forget the Gulf Stream, a rapid ocean current that may carry wreckage far away, leaving no trace behind, making even simple incidents feel as if they've been erased from history. All of these are scientifically plausible, but where facts end, conspiracy theories begin. Among all the conspiracy theories tied to the Bermuda Triangle, the most common suspect is the US government. Many believe the government knows far more than it admits, and that the strange events in the area are not accidents, but part of something being carefully hidden. One theory claims that the region may house a top-secret military base, or perhaps even an underwater Area 51. This might sound far-fetched, but in reality, the triangle is located near several military facilities, including the Atlantic Undersea Test and Evaluation Center, AUTEC, often referred to as the Underwater Area 51. Some theories go even further, suggesting that the government is testing mind control technology, and that the disappearances are not real at all, but rather hallucinations induced by secret experiments. So the question remains, is the Bermuda Triangle truly a zone of danger, or a carefully constructed illusion to hide something far more terrifying? For decades, the US government has been under intense scrutiny for its secretive projects, and the mystery surrounding Area 51 only adds fuel to the fire, making it easier for people to believe they're involved in the Triangle's secrets. But then, there's a theory even older, and more astonishing. Many believe that deep beneath the Bermuda Triangle lies the lost city of Atlantis. As described by Plato, Atlantis was a glorious civilization, rich, powerful, and far ahead in science and technology, until one catastrophic night, it sank beneath the sea. The theory claims Atlantis didn't vanish. It simply descended into the depths of the ocean, and its ancient, forgotten technology may still be active, distorting magnetic fields, disrupting weather, and interfering with modern instruments. The only problem? There's no solid proof Atlantis ever existed. Only ancient writings, over 2,000 years old. If you believe the mystery still lingers, or if you've ever wondered what really happens out there in the open sea, drop a like, leave a comment with your thoughts, and share this video with someone who loves exploring the unknown. And don't forget to subscribe so you won't miss our next journey into the world's most mysterious corners. Another theory suggests that pirates might be to blame. After all, pirates have long existed in maritime history, and the idea of them seizing ships and vanishing with their loot is far from fiction. Some believe that hidden pirate factions abduct crews, steal vessels, and leave behind a haunting silence in their wake. But this theory has major flaws. If pirates are responsible, then why are there no remains, no signals, no evidence left behind? And more importantly, how could pirates make planes disappear? That's certainly not part of their expertise. That's why many consider it one of the weakest theories, just beside the one about sea monsters. But then comes a theory that's both wild and mesmerizing. Inspired by Albert Einstein's theory of general relativity, some believe the Bermuda Triangle may house space-time anomalies, like wormholes or black holes, rips in reality that cause objects to slip out of our world and never return. To understand why some believe the Bermuda Triangle holds a rip in reality, we must explore space-time anomalies. There are two main possibilities, both rooted in Einstein's theory of relativity. The first is a wormhole, a hypothetical tunnel that connects two separate points in space and time. Imagine a portal that could transport you instantly, from the Atlantic Ocean to a far-off location, or even a parallel universe. The theory suggests, if a stable wormhole exists in the triangle, then ships, planes, and people didn't crash. They were pulled into another dimension. But if not a wormhole, then perhaps a black hole. A black hole is a region in space-time where gravity is so intense that not even light can escape. If a tiny black hole were lurking beneath the waters of Bermuda, then everything that enters it would be shredded, consumed, and erased without a trace. A slip through reality. A vanishing beyond return. If there truly is a black hole beneath the Bermuda Triangle, it could create a gravitational pull so strong that ships and planes vanish without a single trace. But there's an even wilder idea that chills the spine. What if gravity itself is reversed? Imagine an area where, instead of pulling objects downward, a force pulls them upward. According to this theory, within certain zones of the triangle, ships might be lifted from the sea, or planes dragged upward into the sky, literally vanishing into thin air. Fascinating as it sounds. There's a catch. If wormholes, black holes, or reversed gravity did exist here, we would expect to find clear physical signs. Yet, all we have is silence, and the chilling realization that something still doesn't add up. Despite the enduring mysteries, one thing is clear: modern technology has changed everything. The spike in past accidents forced innovation. Today's GPS systems are no longer magnetically dependent, allowing precise navigation and dramatically reducing disorientation. Shipping lanes and flight routes are now tightly monitored and optimized, but that's not all. Safety protocols have seen major upgrades. Modern vessels are now equipped with emergency locator beacons, enhanced rescue gear, and most importantly, well-trained crews capable of handling extreme emergencies. We are no longer helpless in the face of the Bermuda Triangle. We're taking control back. But the question remains, has the mystery truly ended? Disasters are common in the Bermuda Triangle, but so are miracles. One of the most remarkable survival stories comes from pilot Bruce Gernon on December 4th, 1970. Bruce, his father, and a business associate took off in a small aircraft. What started as a routine flight quickly became something else entirely. They flew into a massive, fast-growing cloud. It swallowed them whole. No way back. They aimed for a narrowing gap, hoping to escape. Then, came the gray mist. A fog where their compass spun wildly. Instruments flickered and failed. Bruce described it as flying through a tunnel, a place where space felt distorted. But here's the most incredible part. When they finally broke through the cloud, they had already reached Miami, 30 minutes early. Did they lose time or travel through it? Bruce held his heading and managed to contact air traffic control in Miami. To his shock, they said an unidentified plane was flying over Miami Beach. But Bruce had only flown 34 minutes. He should have been near Bimini, not Miami. As the electronic fog faded, they saw Miami Beach below them. They landed safely in Palm Beach after flying less than 47 minutes, far shorter than the usual 75-minute route from Andros to Miami. This has led many to believe Bruce didn't just fly through a storm. He may have flown through time itself. Was it a wormhole? A crack in reality? Bruce's account offers rare insight into what might lie within the Bermuda Triangle. But Bermuda isn't the only place with chilling mysteries. Far away in Canada lies Lake Anjikuni, a place where, they say, an entire Inuit village vanished overnight. If you believe the mystery still lingers, or if you've ever wondered what really happens out there in the open sea, drop a like, leave a comment with your thoughts, and share this video with someone who loves exploring the unknown. And don't forget to subscribe so you won't miss our next journey into the world's most mysterious corners. Joe LaBelle, a Canadian trapper, just wanted a place to sleep. He'd visited the Inuit village near Lake Anjikuni before. But this time, everyone was gone. No signs of struggle. No trace of where they went. Fires still burning. Pots still cooking. Clothes still hanging. But the entire village had vanished without a sound. To this day, no explanation exists. Theories range from aliens to ghosts. Some even whisper of Arctic vampires. But the Earth holds more than one cursed place. If the Atlantic has the Bermuda Triangle, then the Pacific has the Dragon's Triangle, Japan's Devil's Sea. This zone has seen unexplained vanishings, magnetic anomalies, strange lights, and unidentified objects. In 1952, the Japanese government sent a ship to investigate. It vanished, along with all 31 crew members. Over time, more than 40,000 people have disappeared in that stretch of sea. And, to this day, no one knows why. If there's a place on Earth where reality bends, it's Rancho Vlau, formerly known as Skinwalker Ranch. Hidden in the remote deserts of Utah, this land was once an ordinary ranch, until the impossible happened. In 1994, ranchers Terry and Gwen Sherman moved in. On day one, they saw a massive wolf roaming their land. It seemed tame, until it lunged at a calf. Terry fired his rifle, again and again, but the bullets did nothing. The beast just strolled away, untouched, and vanished into the trees. From that moment on, the ranch turned otherworldly. Glowing orbs, intelligent UFOs, surgically mutilated cattle. Frightened and overwhelmed, they sold the ranch to Robert Bigelow, billionaire founder of the National Institute for Discovery Science. Intrigued, he poured millions into researching the ranch. But to this day, his findings remain locked away from the public. Skinwalker Ranch remains a place where science watches, from a very safe distance. The Bermuda Triangle is not alone. Floating above Brazil lies a cosmic cousin, known as the South Atlantic Anomaly, SAA. Here, Earth's inner Van Allen radiation belt dips closer to the surface than anywhere else. Satellites passing through, they glitch, power off, reboot randomly. Not due to technical failure, but because something invisible interferes. No explanation. just silence from the void. And back on Earth? In the US, the Michigan Triangle, centered in Lake Michigan, has baffled investigators for decades. Ships, planes, and people vanish into nothing. One of the most haunting cases? Northwest Flight 2501 vanished from radar in 1950. No wreckage ever found, whether in sky, sea, or space. These triangles remain uncharted zones where reality itself breaks down. April 28, 1937. Captain George R. Donner was sailing from Erie, Pennsylvania to Port Washington. To get there, he had to pass through the Erie-Michigan Triangle. Exhausted, he went to rest in his cabin. Hours later, the first mate checked in to take over. But the cabin was empty. Donner had vanished without a trace. On his own ship. No locked doors. No sounds. No sign of struggle. And this wasn't the only chilling case. June 23, 1950. Flight 2501 from Northwest Airlines was flying from New York to Minneapolis with 58 people on board. Due to rough weather, it rerouted over Lake Michigan. The captain requested to descend from 3,500 to 2,500 feet, but gave no reason. His request was denied, and that was the last time the plane was ever heard from. No wreckage, no bodies, only a hole in the sky where 58 lives used to be. Somehow, these places always exist in the shadows of maps, as if reality folds and something else takes over. The Bermuda Triangle is not the only place cloaked in mystery. Bridgewater and Bennington, two lesser-known triangles, are also marked by unexplained disappearances. But perhaps the biggest question isn't where the danger lies. It's within us. In recent years, the thrill of uncovering the unknown has grown. Some treat these places like adventures, challenges, dares against fate. But are you truly prepared to step into a place where dozens have vanished without a single trace? The mystery of the Bermuda Triangle may be real, or it might just be a mirage, born from the deepest corners of the human mind, because we want to believe in the strange. Because if everything made sense, life would be unbearably boring. So what do you think? A real mystery, or a midnight story we tell ourselves to feel alive? The human mind is wired to remember the bizarre. Events that feel strange or extraordinary stick with us far more than those that are mundane. A ship vanishing into thin air? Memorable. A ship sinking in a hurricane? Easily forgotten. We are more likely to believe in a mystery than to accept that something might just be coincidence. So when tales of odd disappearances surfaced, people began linking them all to the same eerie force. But when you dig into the numbers, you'll see something surprising. The accident rate near the Bermuda Triangle is not higher than any other busy travel zone. And that leads to one haunting possibility. Maybe the true mystery isn't in the sea, but in our minds. That's what many skeptics around the world believe. That the Bermuda Triangle is a story, blown far out of proportion. Just another stretch of ocean, with accidents, like anywhere else, but told through the lens of an extraordinary imagination. If you want to continue discovering untold mysteries, don't forget to subscribe and ring the bell, because the next video might change the way you see the universe.